Kibong thought about how he became stronger by standing atop his corpses. Despite his powerful body, he was unable to protect the person he loved the most. As June defeated the monster, Kibong tended to his mother, who consoled him and expressed her affection towards him before eventually losing consciousness. Overwhelmed with grief, Kibong let out a mournful cry. Ha Yongkayan and June of the Seoul Defense Force discussed Kibong's recent dungeon clearing accomplishments, having destroyed all dungeons in the area over the past month. Despite this feat, the guilds showed dissatisfaction, and Ha Yongkayan believed they would take action soon. To prevent Kibong from losing control, Ha Yongkayan ordered June to bring him in. Kibong continued his monster-killing rampage, easily defeating a horde of monsters after activating his body enhancement. Following the battle, June introduced herself and revealed they had met before, but the timing wasn't right for a proper greeting. June empathized with Kibong's desire to destroy all the monsters and dungeons, but explained that it was ultimately meaningless as they would reappear over time. Kibong questioned whether he should do nothing after enduring 3,000 years of agony, including his body breaking apart and turning to dust, just to return to his family. He expressed frustration that all his efforts were in vain and questioned if June was suggesting he should simply endure it all again. After their conversation, Kibong walked away, but June offered to help him with his revenge and destroy the monsters and dungeons. She invited him to come with her. 6 months later, Kibong visited his unconscious mother, informing her that he had become a high-ranking public official, which meant he wouldn't be able to visit her, often due to his busy schedule. Despite this, he promised to return and asked his mother not to be too disappointed. Kibong came out of the room and was greeted by the officers as he prepared to head to the dungeons. At a bar, a man drank while listening to news of the government ending the Shield Guild's defense service in the metropolitan area. Suddenly, an unknown man approached and identified the drinking man as Captain Beat Cheel of the scout team. The unknown mentioned a source of recent uproar who was causing trouble for their business. Beat Cheel asked if he should eliminate him, but the unknown man instructed him to recruit him instead, treating him like a team captain. Beat Cheel stood up and left, acknowledging the instructions. Kibong's group entered a 5-star class dungeon named Monstrous Bird Nest, and one of the members informed Kibong that this was the last dungeon scheduled to break that month. Kibong ordered the group to be on standby and left to confront the monsters. He requested the system to locate the boss, and as it scanned, he killed the surrounding monsters. The scan was completed, and the system informed him of the boss's location. Kibong immediately headed there and came face to face with the boss called Albatross. Kibong's team was observing his battle with the boss monster Albatross in the 5-star class dungeon Monstrous Bird Nest. The members estimated that Kibong would soon emerge victorious. As they prepared to move to collect the spirit stones from the monsters, the dungeon entrance suddenly opened, and they were attacked by an unknown person who threw a dagger at the man, followed by another attack, knocking down the vice captain. Beat Cheel, who had arrived with the attackers, asked the team which of them was Kim Kibong. Meanwhile, Kibong was still fighting the boss monster Albatross. Kibong was hit by the boss's fiery breath, causing an explosion that Beat Cheel felt from a distance. He realized that Kibong was not with the rest of the team and made the decision to attack and kill Kibong's team in order to draw him out. Kibong acquired attribute resistance from the attack and emerged unharmed. He then attacked, defeating the boss and causing a black sphere to drop from its corpse. He asked the system what the sphere was. The system identified it as a daystone, but was unable to provide further information due to being offline. Suddenly, the system alerted him of a fight occurring at the dungeon entrance. Beat Cheel and his team attacked Kibong's group, beating them down. After learning that Kibong had defeated the dungeon boss, Beat Cheel realized that the explosion he heard earlier was Kibong fighting the monster. As they were leaving to find Kibong, Kibong suddenly appeared behind them, causing them to be surprised. Kibong approached Beat Cheel's group, who introduced himself, but then stopped when he felt Kibong's powerful aura, causing him to tremble. Kibong asked if Beat Cheel's group was from the Shield Guild. The people behind Beat Cheel felt disrespected by Kibong's question, but Beat Cheel told them to be quiet. Beat Cheel remembered the order to recruit and treat Kibong as a team captain and cursed at the thought of such a low rank for someone like Kibong. He realized that they needed to make Kibong their ally, even if it meant giving up an executive position. Beat Cheel offered Kim Kibong to join the Shield Guild, emphasizing their strength as the strongest guild in South Korea and promising to grant him any wish he desires. Beat Cheel's words were sincere and honest. The position of a team captain in a large guild could earn a salary of at least 3 billion won. They had immense power and influence, making it nearly impossible for any country to challenge them. One of Kibong's team members overheard Beat Cheel's offer and realized that their squad would be useless without Kibong. Being scouted by a large guild was a turning point in a player's life, and it was an offer that no one would refuse. Recalling what happened to his mother, Kibong asked if the Shield Guild was responsible for the defense of the capital city, which also included Moontown. Beat Cheel confirmed. However, before he could finish his words, Kibong attacked and sent him flying, leaving him unconscious in front of his team. The rest of Beat Cheel's team prepared to attack, but Kibong made it clear that it was not about personal feelings, but rather payback for attacking his team. The Shield Guild is the strongest and most prominent guild in South Korea, responsible for protecting the capital area where high-ranked dungeons are located. With over 5,000 members, including the 3S rank players of South Korea, they are considered the country's shield. Kibong attacked the Shield Guild members and easily defeated them one by one, even using one of them as a weapon. Beat Cheel watched in awe as Kibong continued his rampage, realizing that Kibong was incredibly powerful and seemed indifferent to their attack. Beat Cheel also noted that he had brought the best members of his team, but they were still no match for Kibong. Beat Cheel's team was being treated for their injuries in the Shield Guild's building, with some in critical condition. The director of the Shield Guild arrived and requested to speak to Beat Cheel alone. After injecting him with something to wake him up, the director asked him to explain what happened. Beat Cheel revealed that they were defeated by Kim Kibong, whose power was immeasurable. The director then asked if Kibong could match their guildmaster. Beat Cheel was unable to make a decision as both Kibong and the guildmaster were transcendent beings that were beyond his reach. When asked by the director if they could recruit Kim Kibong, he informed the director that Kibong's hostility towards them was evident and they could not recruit him. The director got up and left, deciding that Kibong needed to be eliminated before other guilds could recruit him. He then contacted someone and issued a kill order to the vice master. He thought that if they can't have him, they must eliminate him, so he won't stand in their way. Kibong was at Abyssal Beach, a 4-star dungeon, hunting monsters when he killed a whale-like creature. He then asked the system to provide more information about the Daystone, but the system responded that it was impossible due to being in offline mode. Frustrated, Kibong sighed. However, the system then revealed that it could absorb the Daystone and explained the benefits of doing so, which included a system upgrade and access to the source of the dungeons. Kibong agreed to let the system absorb the Daystone. In the meantime, a person dressed in unusual attire was walking and drew attention from people around him. He approached a woman and showed her a poorly drawn picture, asking if she had seen the person in it. The woman was confused by the drawing and said she hadn't seen the person, then walked away. However, the person felt the system absorbing the Daystone and was relieved to have found where Kibong was. After absorbing the Daystone, Kibong's system gained 2 new functions: human analysis and emotion expression. The system explained that human analysis allows it to gather detailed information about a person, and if the target is a player, it can view their stats. Kibong found this interesting and asked about the emotion expression function. The system then showed an emoticon reaction, making him speechless. Kibong landed on a rooftop and asked the system to locate the nearest bus stop for him to return to the army. The system asked why he didn't fly to the location, which surprised Kibong. He assumed that the system's new upgrade allowed it to ask questions. Kibong replied that he was asked not to fly by Lieutenant Colonel O, who said his flying created chaos within the Air Force. Kibong felt that someone was following him while he was walking. He suspected that the person might be from the Shield Guild, but he couldn't sense any hostility from him. He ordered the system to analyze the man, but the analysis failed, leaving Kibong frustrated. Eventually, the pursuer approached him and sat beside him with a smile on his face. Kibong wondered about the man's intentions. Kibong boarded the bus, deciding not to engage with the man who had been following him. However, he found that the man was already sitting beside him, which surprised him. In a 4-star dungeon, Sword Emperor Park Taram, the vice master of the Shield Guild, was battling multiple giant snake monsters. After killing the surrounding monsters with his sword, he threw his weapon in a particular direction, and the director appeared. Taram questioned why the director was there since he had previously instructed him not to come unless it was urgent. The director responded with surprise and said that Taram was living inside the dungeon, so he assumed it was necessary. The director asked Taram to eliminate someone, but Taram refused and suggested leaving it to the scout team. The director informed him that the scout team had already failed in their mission, which was unusual since they were the best fighters of the Shield Guild and only faced players. They were given priority in terms of equipment and had never failed a mission until now. Taram stopped and was now interested in the mission. Without delay, he rushed to the office of the Prime Minister and made a scene, eventually confronting Gu Seongryong, who is both the Prime Minister of South Korea and an S-rank player. Her skills as a player are among the finest, and she decided to become a politician to rescue more players than she could as a warrior. Taerim greets Prime Minister Gu Seongryong, whom he hasn't seen in 3 years, but she rebuffs his concern and tells him not to call her ma'am. Taerim comments on her cold demeanor, and Seongryong draws her weapon, reminding him of her temper. Gu Seongryong is an S-rank player and the current Prime Minister. She was one of the first-generation Awakeners on that day, which makes her a first. Seongryong activated her powerful mass teleport skill to take Taerim to a secluded area, impressing him with her abilities. However, she quickly prepared to attack him and accused him of treason. Meanwhile, Kibong arrived at the base and was still being followed by the mysterious man. When the soldiers at the entrance asked if the man was his brother, Kibong denied knowing him. The soldiers at the base stopped the man who was following Kibong and told him that ordinary citizens are not allowed inside. Meanwhile, inside the base, Kibong was contemplating the meaning of the source of the dungeons and decided to gather more daystones to give to the system. While changing, he noticed that the mysterious man was at his window and being pursued by the soldiers. Seongryong and Taerim were engaged in a battle, with Taerim demanding that she hand over Kim Kibong. Seongryong, however, revealed that she knew what the Shield Guild was up to. She explained that thanks to Kim Kibong's efforts in dealing with dungeon breaks, the government did not renew its contract with the Shield Guild for the Metropolitan Area Defense Service. This meant that the guild's situation had become problematic as they no longer received their share of the country's taxes. In an attempt to recruit Kim Kibong by offering him money and prestige, the Shield Guild had failed. Kim Kibong had wiped out their team, and now the only thing the Shield Guild could do was to kill him. Seongryong attacked Taerim with a fire skill, intending to defeat him. Meanwhile, the soldiers in the base caught the mysterious man who had been following Kibong. When Kibong asked why he was following him, the man simply replied that he wanted to see him. Kibong asked for his identity and how he knew him. The mysterious man claimed to know Kibong and that he had emerged from the rift. Kibong was surprised and wondered about the man knowing about him. The man expressed his curiosity to observe Kibong closely and asked to live with him. The vice captain intervened, warning the man about the military's boundaries. However, the man requested to make him a soldier so he could stay. The vice captain laughed and accepted the mysterious man's challenge, with the condition that he must win against him to join the team. Despite Kibong's warning, the vice captain insisted and stated that he will punish the man for his rude behavior towards Kibong. The mysterious man questioned if everyone else in the team had to win against him to join, to which the vice captain responded by calling him an asshole and inviting him to come at him, claiming to be the weakest of the bunch. Taerim caught Seongryong off guard by dispelling her skill and proceeded to take out a return stone. Seongryong attempted to stop him, but it was too late. Taerim then reminded her of her title as Korea's strongest and crushed the stone, challenging her to see if she can protect those close to her. The stone activated and Taerim vanished, leaving her in the area. Seongryong was worried about Kibong as Taerim, an S-rank with a myth-grade weapon, was a formidable opponent. In the meantime, the vice captain began the fight with the man, who reiterated that if he won, he could stay, then threw a punch, which the vice captain felt the power of, but Kibong intervened and stopped the attack. Kibong then introduced himself and asked for the man's name, to which he replied that it was Kang Hwai. Kibong told the vice captain that Kang Hwai was not someone he could fight and emphasized the importance of analyzing an opponent's strength. The vice captain felt remorseful for lacking strength. Kang Hwai then asked Kibong if his words were directed towards him. Kibong confirmed and asked if Kang Hwai still wanted to fight him. Kang Hwai expressed his desire to fight Kibong. Team members who were a part of the special dungeon management team that had been observing Kibong for the past 6 months found the idea crazy. The vice captain acknowledged that Kang Hwai was strong but believed that Kibong was on a different level altogether. Kang Hwai started the attack towards Kibong, but Kibong managed to avoid it with ease and tried to land a hit with a kick, which was blocked by Kang Hwai, much to Kibong's surprise. Kibong continued with his attack while questioning Kang Hwai's identity and purpose, but Kang Hwai refused to reveal any information, stating that it was a secret. In response, Kang Hwai delivered a powerful kick, forcing Kibong back. Kibong was taken aback when he was thrown back by Kang Hwai's kick, as it was the first time he had ever been knocked back. Kang Hwai then launched an energy ball attack at him, which Kibong deflected. He wondered if it was magic. When Kibong asked if it was Kai, Kang Wai confirmed that it was similar and proceeded to fire multiple energy balls at him, to the shock of the other team members. Kang Wai wondered if he had managed to land a hit on Kibong. Kang Wai was surprised to see Kibong unharmed. However, Kibong was angry about his damaged clothes and decided it was his turn to attack. Kang Wai, impressed by Kibong's strength, gave up and stated that it would be okay with staying after winning against a vice-captain. But Kibong wasn't finished yet and punched Kang Wai, knocking him out. Kibong then instructed the team to help Kang Wai unpack. The Fire Dragon's Nest is an 8-star dungeon, which is the highest rank in existence, and it is surrounded by many theories. However, all the experts agree on one thing, that if the Fire Dragon wakes up, South Korea will face its biggest crisis since its creation. Inside the dungeon, Taram killed a Fire Dragon hatchling, intentionally awakening the Fire Dragon, causing it to become enraged and potentially starting the downfall of humanity.